This video is for you if you're wondering why is your career not growing. You might feel that you're doing all the right things, you're putting in all the time, you're reading the books, you're taking the classes, you're learning new things, but you're feeling like there's something reason why you're not getting above, the level where you are right now, or you feel like there's something that you're not quite grasping and you're wondering what is it going to take. So this video is going to be some tough love, heal my heart on this. A lot of the things I'm going to share with you today that might be reasons that are keeping you stuck are things that have kept me stuck in the past. So welcome back. I'm Brittany. I work primarily with HR Department of One professionals, HR department leaders, and those who are trying to grow your career in HR on purpose. So you're probably 3 years or so into your HR career. You're at one point you were satisfied with where you were, but there's more for you on the other side. You don't know if you can get that where you are right now. You don't know if you need to go to interview for somewhere else or change industries or all the things. What if I told you that it's probably something that's on the inside of you? It's nothing external. So I talk with my clients often in our HR leadership library, and you hear me talk about that often. It's a small group program that we have. And what I love about it is that we can go there. We can be real and we can talk about our faith. And what I often tell these people that I work with, these clients, these beautiful, brilliant women that I work with, I tell them things that I had to once tell myself. We can't put limits on God. So I live in a relatively small town, and everyone wants to go to the big city and move there because well, when you move here, you'll be able to find love. When you move here, you can get a better job. When you move here, you can finally go have your kids in a better school. God can bless you wherever you are, but we must do the work there. So there are some things on the inside of each of us that we will never reach the levels we want to reach or see the blessings that we want to see if we don't do the work ourselves. So this is going to be my version of tough love for you to help you to really break through to that next level for your career. And hopefully this will be helpful for you. So if you're not new here, you know the drill. I've got my notes here to keep me on track. I want to make sure I don't go off on random tangents, but go ahead and get your notebook too. I want to make sure that you get a chance to write down all the things we're going to talk about today, and hopefully this blesses you. So the very first reason that your career is not growing is likely because you might think you know it all already. So I talked before about you might feel like you're learning all the things. You might feel like you've gotten to the point where you can't learn anything else. So you may have even said, well, where I am in my career right now, or where I am in my company, wherever company you're in right now, you may say, I've gotten all I can get from this place. I've got to go somewhere else to get more. That's a limiting belief that we might have sometimes. And I say limiting belief because it's a limiting belief that I had at one point as well. So there should never be a time in your career, in your life, in your personal or professional experiences where you feel you know everything. If you feel you know everything, then maybe it is time for you to try something new. But in HR specifically, as a profession, HR is so ever changing. There will never be a time that I feel that I know everything there is about HR. So even if I feel that in my current role, I've done all that I can do, that's a cop out. Saying that we feel that we've done all we can do, we've learned all we can learn, we've gained all we can get, it's really a cop out. We're saying, I don't want to put in any more work here. Let me go somewhere else and maybe start over from the bottom and all those things. My message to share to you here is you will never know enough. And if you feel that you know it all right now, to me, that's an indication of how much you don't know. So what are you doing? What are you reading? What are you studying? What do you know about your business? Do you know what your business's industry is? Do you know what keeps those business leaders up at night? So you might feel you're very, very well versed on the HR side, and that's arguable. But how well versed are you on the business side? Are you an HR leader or an HR voice to the business concerns? So you want to make sure, again, there's always multiple ways for you to learn, but that might be the very first reason why you're not seeing the results that you want to see, is that you might feel you've learned all you can learn. I'm here to let you know you have not. I have not, and I never will, and I hope to never learn everything I can to everything there is for me to learn. It's always something new to grasp. The second reason, also going back to that, the not knowing it all. Also, you must be open minded to other people's opinions. So I often talk to a lot of people. Personally, I talk to a lot of people in my church, in my family, in business, as a professional in my 9 to 5. I talk to a lot of different people, and I can tell oftentimes early in a conversation. I try not to let that sway my complete opinion of people, But I can tell when every time I talk to a person, if they know everything or they tell me all the things that's wrong with the business, all the things that's wrong with the people in the business, all the things people are doing wrong, all the things that people, if they just did what they say to do, everything will be perfect. And I don't like having those kind of conversations with people because it's a little draining for me because I know I will never be so audacious to believe that I know what's best for everyone. That's why I'm always telling people around me, make sure you're learning, make sure you're growing, make sure you're developing yourself on purpose. We should never be the one to have all the answers. Because if we feel that we have all the answers, it's going to keep us closed-minded. So again, not only do you want to make sure you are taking in information, but be open-minded to other people's opinions even if there are things happening in your company that you don't understand. I believe, and this is just a fundamental belief that I have, I believe that people generally don't wake up in the morning to do a bad job. People don't wake up in the morning to sabotage those around them, generally. And so, if the leaders of your organization are making decisions that you don't understand or are making moves that you don't quite respect or agree with, don't see that as a dig on them personally. They just have a different experience of you. They have different lived experiences. They've got different work experiences. So it's going to lead them to make different decisions than you will make. And if it was your company, if you had the successful career where you could be in that VP role, where you could be in that CEO role, where this could be your company, then you could call the shots. But when you don't call the shots, you have to figure out where your place is and how can you be a resource and a value add without being the know-it-all in the room. So oftentimes I feel that kind of holds us back. It's held me back in the past as well, feeling like I knew what was best for everyone around me. So I try my best not to do that today. Even my HR leadership library, and I keep talking about it because I have to talk about my own experiences. When I'm talking to the clients and they're like, Brittany, you help me with this. Brittany, you help me with that. I I try my best to not get the glory. God gets the glory of it all. But also, they're the one doing the work. Like, yes, I'm giving you resources. Yes, I'm giving you a listening board. Yes, I'm able to hear what you're saying and maybe say, okay, well, have you thought about this? Or what are you doing to track this and all the things? But it doesn't matter what I say. If they don't do the work, then the work is not being done. So you got to be open minded to take advice and all the things. And I'm kind of jumping ahead to another point. But again, you can't be closed minded. You can't have all the answers yourself. The second thing, you might have a difficulty staying poised under pressure. So I talk about this in other videos as well, but I believe, again, fundamentally, so these are a lot of things that I believe wholeheartedly for myself. I believe that you are not who you are. Like, you are not the version of you when everything is great. You are who you are when things don't go your way. When you get that no, when you get that rejection, when you get that disappointment, when you make that mistake, when you have that failure, that's who you are in that moment. And I say that for me, like my points in my career where I feel that I gained the most respect is when I made a mistake. I'll never forget. I was super early in my career. I had just probably been in HR department of one for probably, 6 months. And I had been doing payroll on my own for like roughly 6 months, or maybe about 9 months at this point. So I was still relatively new to payroll. And there was something special going on with payroll. And everyone's payroll was correct except for the CEO. And he was without a paycheck because of something that I did. And I was hot all over. That's so I was just flush with nerves, and I just already felt that I was doubting myself. I was doubting my capabilities, doubting my own self-worth, if I'm completely honest, wondering if I'm even, am I working above my ceiling? Am I working beyond what I'm capable of? And so I was just crushed by this. But what I did, I went to him. He was in a meeting, so I waited for the meeting to end. As soon as the meeting ended and I could catch him, I said, "Hey, Mr. So and so, I made a mistake." And then I explained what the mistake was. And CEOs, they're not. I was putting my frustrations, my challenges, my limitations onto him. Because I need my paycheck. If you miss one of my paychecks, it's like I have bills, that are coming, all these things. CEOs, not so much. They have, more flexibility, more wiggle room. And so I told him that I was waiting for the axe to fall pretty much. And he was so understanding. He was so he was okay with it, and I was so surprised that he was not like gonna like come over me like really like write me up and all these things. I was really bracing myself for it. He's like, it's okay. He's like, no problem. He's like, as long as it can be fixed on the very next paycheck, that's no problem at all. But I want you to know, I respect this. I respect that you told me the first thing out of your mouth was I made a mistake. He said you didn't try to cover it up. You didn't try to blame anybody else. You didn't try to do anything except responsibility. He said, I respect that. And going into that moment, I was not trying to help him to respect me. I was trying to take ownership for something that I did that I knew was nobody's mistake but my own. But the fact that he pointed that out in that moment is a lesson for me. And I try to impress it upon other people that I work with, other people on my team, in my day job. If you make a mistake, own it. And so going back to this point, staying poised under pressure, not letting things that happen to you, completely knock you off your square, not letting things that happen to you just completely take you out of your character. Who you are when things get difficult. And so in hindsight, it's fulfilling to kind of look back and say, okay, gosh, when that went wrong, when I felt like this could have been a significantly low moment in my career, that's what I did. Like, wow, that's who I am. And so I want you to have those moments too. I'm not saying go around making mistakes so that you can own up to them. But when you make a mistake, because you will make a mistake, because we're all humans, we're not machines, own them and be poised under pressure. Also, I think it's important to realize that any mistakes that you make, any things that happen that's not going to go your way, things that just, are not what you prefer them to be, those are really defining moments. And they don't feel like it in the moment, but looking back on them, 7 months later, a year later, those are going to be the moments that really define who you are and your internal self. The third reason that your career may not be growing is that you're never satisfied. So, in career development, in career progression, I'm all about helping you to build your impact within your work, build your influence within your company, and ultimately build your income. Because if you're building impact and influence, you're going to build your income. But I also know that you have to realize that there's not going to ever be a point where you feel that the money will ever catch up to what you feel your value is. And what I mean by that is we all want to make more money. And we all likely deserve to make more money. But we need to know what our internal motivators are. We need to know what really helps us define success for ourselves. So if you're never satisfied, you might have gotten 3 promotions so far or 1 promotion so far. How long did that last promotion satisfy you? Be honest with yourself and realize money is not the only motivator. So, and there could be some things that happen. You might have to have different conversations. You might have to have relationships that you build up with your teams. You might have to have different trust and credibility built up within your workplace. But there's got to be certain things that motivate you outside of money. Money motivates, but not for long. So when I say you might not ever be satisfied because you're continuously chasing the dollar. And I got a lot of videos on this channel about ways to boost your salary, boost your salary potential even, because I know that's what motivates us temporarily. But in the long term, that's not going to be a sustainable driver for you, because we can't just always make money and money and money and money and money. Like that's just not reasonable. And even at my level of my career right now, I'm a VP, one of 4 VPs of our organization. And so my salary today is way more comfortable than it was, 5 years ago even. But that's not motivating me. Like, I'm at the point now where, yes, the money is great, but that's not my only motivation. If that was my only motivation, there'd be no reason for me to do this channel. Like, I could literally live and sit comfortably on my couch with my kids and my husband and just relax. But there's something else that's driving me, something else that drives me to help others to be successful. And yes, I'm helping many people in my day job, but I know there's so many more things that I can do to help other HR leaders, other aspiring HR leaders who have desires to reach heights that I've reached and that I have yet to reach. And so again, you've got to decide what motivates you to be successful and understand that should be the thing driving you and not the dollar as its own self. Fourth reason why your career might not be growing: you play the victim. So we talked a lot about, some of the reasons why, you got to make sure you're continuously learning. You got to make sure that you are poised under pressure. You got to make sure that all the things, but you want to make sure that we don't play the victim. So when we play the victim, that's what happens when, no matter what advice you get, No matter what idea you have, you shoot it down before someone else can shoot it down. You're like, okay, well, that won't happen because, they don't trust me. Or that won't happen because they don't believe me. Or that won't happen because they don't value the work that I do. At some point, you got to decide. I've got a whole video on here. I think the title is like just decide. At some point, you've got to understand and decide that if this is something that you want for your career, you've got to go for it. Nobody's going to want it more than you. So you can't be the victim and expect growth. If you want something, you got to work for it. Anything worth having is often hard fought. Like you've got to find different things, or hard won is hard fought or hard won. Anything worth having, oftentimes you have to work for it because you appreciate it even more then. So don't play the victim. Don't count yourself out. Don't give yourself all the reasons why it won't work or hasn't worked or won't work in the future. Just decide that you're going to make a go of this. You're going to make sure you're going to grow your career on purpose. You're going to dig in. You're going to follow the advice that I've put in many of these videos on this channel, and you're going to do the things that's going to take for you to grow a successful career. Also, the fifth reason why your career is often not growing is that you won't accept help. So an idea that I often have is what got us here is not going to get us there. We talk about this often in my day job. What got us here is not going to get us there. So put that in anything, whether that is personal, whether that's professional, whether that's in any organization that you work in. Whatever got you to this point in your career, whatever education it was, whatever working relationships it was, whatever attitude it was, whatever work ethic it was, whatever that got you here, it's not going to get you there. And so doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to likely keep getting the same results over and over again. And if you're not satisfied with it, again, you've got to go back to the prior point. You got to decide that something has to change. And oftentimes that change comes with accepting help. So there are many places where you can get help. I often suggest that you get in tune with a few different places. Get in tune with your local SHRM chapter. That's a valuable resource that every HR professional should be a part of, I believe. Also get in tune with local industry associations. If there's any local groups with other like-minded peers in your industry, for example, if you work in healthcare, you need to be a part of some healthcare associations, not necessarily HR, but healthcare associations. Again, going back to that first point, you need to know what the business values, prioritizes, and what keeps those leaders up at night, so that you can understand where you can be a value add from the HR perspective to bring that value and be a trusted voice at those tables. So you need to accept help. Oftentimes you can even get help on your local SHRM chapter, your industry groups, but even groups like the ones that I create. So whether it's the SHRM HR Department of One program that I have that's going live in a few months, whether it is my HR Leadership Library, which is a program that you'll be in for 12 months. You're going to walk through my curriculum to build up your HR department, but you also work with me in a small group. We'll have after hours calls 3 times a month, where you're going to be me and other members of the community to get together, ask me questions, talk about HR things. It's lonely as an HR Department of One. And so this is my way of helping you to not be so alone in your role, have other HR Department of One leaders who are on a similar growth focused journey, who are desiring growth and who are reaching the heights. I'm going to probably share some successes in upcoming videos possibly, but it's powerful to work with other people, because we're not meant to work in isolation. We're not meant to live in isolation. So just the opportunity to be able to collaborate, to learn from other people is powerful. I spoke with someone a few weeks ago, and she shared an idea with me that I never thought about, but I want to let you know that I hear her and I see you. So she shared with me about, the things that I'm sharing on this channel. These are great things they're sharing, and that I'm sharing, and that, a lot of people can get value from it. But she mentioned something that, again, I never even considered. To accept help, sometimes you have to be vulnerable, and you have to want the help and know that you need the help before you even accept the help. And so I understand how it's a vulnerable thing to feel like you are exposing yourself to be seen as not knowledgeable, or to be seen as not knowing enough. And I want you to let you know that's not what the HR Leadership Library is designed to be. The Leadership Library is designed to help you continue to grow, continue to see success, because you wouldn't be in your position if you weren't already capable. So my goal is just to help support you. My goal is to help you to be a superstar. My goal is to help you to continue to thrive as an HR department of one. So you as a member of the community is not me telling you all the things that you don't know. Is think of it as me helping you to, it's helping me to like prop you up in a way to support you, so that as you do the hard things that you do, as you pour out the hard things that you pour out, there's going to be someone in a community to pour back into you. I know how lonely I felt when I was in HR department of one, knowing that I had all these ideas, I had all these great plans, but I had a lack of time. And even if I had the time, did I have the buy-in? And how do I get the buy-in? All the things. So use the HR Leadership Library once you become a part of it to tune into our after hours calls. To again, you're going to get out of anything what you pour into it yourself. So take advantage of the program, take advantage of the curriculum, take advantage of the access to me. And you're going to get a chance to meet me one-on-one. So it's interesting on these videos, anytime you join any program that I'm a part of, that I'm leading through this business, you will talk to me. I'm not going to pawn you off on another member of my team, all these things. No, you're going to talk to me, because I think it's really valuable that whoever you built the connection with through these videos, you've been watching my videos for, I don't know if it's been 3 weeks or almost a year. However long you've been watching the videos, we build up a rapport, and I want you to continue to reap the benefits of that rapport. Once I get a chance to learn you, I want to know about your company. I want to know about how long you've been in HR. I want to know about what your struggles are, because I want to support you and help you to feel successful, help you to be successful, again, to build your impact, build your influence, and ultimately build your income. So if this video has helped you in any way, please like this video to push it out to more people who could be blessed by this, who could be benefited from this. Like this video, subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed, and drop any comments down below to let me know what are you planning to do with this information. Are you going to shore up any of these ideas, any of these areas of potential deficiency, or you continue to double down on your learning? What are you planning to do with this video? You made it all the way to the end. Let me know, what are you planning to do with this information? I hope this video has left you better than when you came. If you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to work with you at a higher level. Click any links down below. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.